All right, guys. Tonight we're going to talk about defensive zone faceoffs, okay? Um, and I had a U15 game last night, and even our U15 guys were a little bit confused on what they were supposed to be doing in the defensive zone, so that's okay. We'll talk about defensive zone faceoffs tonight, and maybe in the future I'll talk about offensive zone faceoffs. But to start off with, I just want to make sure that we're kind of getting the hang of defensive zone positioning, offensive zone positioning, and then just making sure that we have our responsibilities laid out for us in a defensive zone off of a faceoff. Okay. Um, okay. So there are three things that I really want to talk about tonight. One is general defensive zone face-off positioning before the puck is even dropped. I want to talk about the responsibilities of the wingers, the centerman, and the defenseman on a one face-off in the defensive zone. And then I want to talk about what the responsibilities of the wingers, center, and defense are when we lose a face-off in the defensive zone. Okay. So let's talk about general defensive zone face-off positioning before the puck is even dropped. Okay. So in the defensive zone, the biggest thing for me is making sure that we reduce the threat of the opposition scoring. Okay. So if we're in our own zone taking a face-off, the most immediate threat is going to be the opposition getting a scoring opportunity. So this means that we don't want to cheat to the offensive side off of a face-off, but rather position ourselves as close as we can to the opposition in the event that we lose a face-off. Okay. It's more important for me in a defensive zone to make sure that the opposition does not score than it is for me getting possession of the puck off of a face-off. Okay. So I just want to show you what cheating looks like. And this is something that I saw in our U15 game yesterday. And it was the defenseman coming off of the hash marks down here, off of the hash marks down here. And often what happens is, we are able to get possession of that puck. Okay. So even if the centerman wins that draw, all right, the puck is right here on the dot. Centerman wins that draw, and it's easier for us to get to that puck, but it makes us vulnerable. Okay. And the way that it makes us vulnerable, so we were able to break out that puck pretty easy when we cheat. But the way that we're vulnerable in the defensive zone off of a face-off is if we lose that face-off, then we're further away from the players that we're supposed to be checking. And often that means that we're going to give up a grade A scoring opportunity in our own zone, which is something that we don't want. So if we're cheating toward a face-off win, we're vulnerable to the opposition getting a scoring opportunity because of the additional time and space where we've given the opposition. This is what it looks like. Okay, so if that puck is one straight back, our defenseman is already off the hash marks. This is all the space this player right here needs to come around the circle and fire a puck, boom, on net like that, right? And I've seen it a lot of times that the opposition gets a high quality scoring opportunity or scores a goal right off of a face-off. That's something that we're going to be looking to do in the offensive zone as well. Okay. So my preferred positioning sees both defensemen right on these hash marks. Okay, guys, give me a thumbs up if you can see that right now. The defensemen are right on these hash marks right here and right here. Okay. So every face-off, when we're taking a face-off in the defensive zone, every single time we're going to put a defenseman right on the hash mark. Their skate's going to be right on this hash mark. This defenseman's skate is going to be right where the hash mark meets the circle. Okay. The defensemen are going to line up there. Centerman's going to line up right here, obviously, to take the face off. And then in this situation, Sammy, take yourself off mute. Are we on the left side of the ice or are we on the right side of the ice? You're still on mute, Sammy.
The centerman?
No, just we're on what side of the ice are we on? Is the face off on the right side or the left side?
Uh, I think the left.
Yep,
That
it's on
right.
the left side, okay? So what's unique here, guys, is even though we're on the left side of the ice, do you guys see the left winger lining up along the boards? Ben gives a thumbs up. He sees the left winger along the boards. I don't see that, Ben. No. X. That's right. So the left winger is actually going to line up right beside the defenseman when the faceoff is on the left side of the ice. Do you guys all see that? Is it confusing for you right now? Put your hand up or even speak up right now if it's confusing for you guys, because we'll talk about it right now. Because I promise you, we're going to get into a game situation and I'll look up and we'll be on the left side of the ice, and the left winger is going to be on the wall. All right. So we need to make sure that this is pretty clear. The defenseman's going to be on the wall on the hash mark, and then on the other hash mark, the defenseman's going to be there. Okay. Defenseman, if you see a winger, if you're on the wall, if you're playing left defense and you see a winger trying to come over, you say, no, you got to line up on the middle. Okay. Line up on the inside. And then so this left, the defenseman's going to be right here on this hash mark. And then the left winger is going to be lined up right beside him or her. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Now in this situation here, the right winger, because the face-off is on the left side of the ice, will line up behind the defenseman, about a foot or two behind the defenseman. Okay. So this is what it looks like. We got a defenseman and both wingers on the interior. We have the centerman at the face-off circle or at the face-off dot, and then we have the other defenseman lined up along the wall. Okay. Um, the reason why I want to do that is because, let's say that we have Ben and we have Sammy as our defensemen, okay? If Ben is lined up right here and we lose a face-off, he's already standing right beside their winger, who he's supposed to be checking in this situation off of a face-off. If Sammy is lined up on the inside, as a right hand, as a right defenseman, he's going to be lined up right on this hash mark as well. If we lose that face-off, he's already standing right beside the guy he needs to check. Okay. So for the responsibilities of the winger, we kind of talked about that here already. All right. The one player that knows what he or she is going to be doing regardless. So for the wingers, um, regardless of whether or not we win or lose a face-off, there's one player on the ice that knows what they're going to be doing. It doesn't matter if we win the face-off or if we lose the face-off, and that's going to be the winger that's lined up right beside the defenseman. Okay, so that puck gets dropped, and it doesn't matter if we win the face-off or we lose that face-off. This winger's already coming through the circle. Okay, now the nice thing about that, guys, is if there's no indecision, if that left winger knows exactly what he or she needs to do, then it means that that player is playing with the most speed on the ice. They don't have to think about it. They already know what they're doing before that puck is even dropped, right? So there's something unique. Felix, maybe take yourself off mute. Okay, if this left winger is coming through this circle off of a face-off, and they're coming through that circle fast, and these defensemen are standing still, what could potentially be a benefit for this left winger coming through that circle?
Probably like making sure they don't get a puck.
Making sure that they don't get the puck. But what if this centerman only had like a half face-off win? Let's say that if you see my cursor on the screen, if that puck was standing right there and this left winger is coming through his speed, what could potentially be a benefit for that left winger?
He could probably break out.
Yeah, he could not only break out, but there's a good chance that that player gets a breakaway. Okay, so that's something that this player right here, this left winger in this situation, we're on the left side. So the left winger lines up beside the defenseman. That player's going to come through with speed. In the back of that player's mind, they're thinking, okay, well, I mean, if it's only a half face-off win and these defensemen are standing still, I'm thinking breakaway off that face-off. Okay, so they know that they're coming through with speed, right? So um, on a face-off win, the defenseman on the wall, okay, this guy right here, will look to pick up that puck. Okay, so this when we're in the defensive zone, I don't want the centerman to try to shoot the puck forward. Okay, we want to get possession of the puck, and so in the defensive zone, the centerman's going to look to win the face-off backward. Okay, and then on that win, I'm not looking for this defenseman here to leave the middle of the ice and come down. I'm looking for the defenseman on the wall to take a stride down, pick up that puck, and then transition from, basically the strong side where everybody is, where the puck is, to the weak side where we're going to have empty space. Okay. And then we'll look to have a defensive zone exit off of that. Okay. Now, depending on how the face-off is won, the defenseman lined up on the interior, so this guy can transition to the side of the net for support. Okay, so if that puck comes down here into the corner, we know that immediately this guy right here is going to start chasing that puck, and we know there's a good chance that maybe this guy here is going to come in and chase that puck too. So if that puck is put into the corner, this defenseman right here can say, okay, well, I'm just going to slide down right to about here to see if they need to pass me that puck. Okay, all right. So, and then this both the centerman right here and the offside winger, They're going to monitor the situation, see how the play is evolving, and anticipate how they can support their teammates. Okay. So what does that look like? Okay. So the puck is put into the corner. That left winger comes through. We just talked about that. Defenseman comes and picks up that puck. The other defenseman can come down here beside the net in the event that this defenseman needs to pass the puck. And then the centerman and the right winger are going to monitor to see how things go. Okay, so one more time, I'll just rewind for you guys here. So off of a face-off, regardless of whether or not we win or lose, this left winger is going to do what, Bennett? Oh, Ben's off the screen. Ben's gone. All right. Anybody want to volunteer to? Okay, Deacon.
Here
I'm going to
now.
ask you, pal. What's this left winger going to do, regardless of whether or not we win or lose face-off? Take yourself off mute and let me know what you think that this left winger is going to do off of a face-off.
Steal the puck?
He's going to come through the circle. Okay, so off of a face-off, this left winger is going to come through that circle like so. So off of draw, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. That left winger is coming through. Okay. Now this defenseman immediately going to try to get that puck on a one face-off. This defenseman here, if they see that their partner is in the corner with the puck, they can kind of cheat down here a little bit to the side of the net to see what's going to happen. If we lose the puck down here, that defenseman has to come back to the front of the net and make sure that there's not a player open. Okay. So what would this look like in real time? Well, we're not one player's going to move and then the next player's going to move and then the next player's going to move. All the players going to move together. Okay. So this is what it looks like in real time. Okay. You guys see how that works? Go back one more time. In this situation, the puck is going to go into the corner. The defenseman's going to sprint after it. Opposition, they're not going to stand there. They're going to go after that puck as well. This defenseman's going to read it and say, okay, well, the puck's going into the corner. How can I support my defensive partner? I'm going to slide down here to the side of the net. Okay. So in this situation, defense passes here. And this defenseman, it wouldn't make sense for him to go back into traffic. It would make sense for him to go behind the net. And if that's the case, we're going to want our right winger to come over to the wall. We're going to have that centerman start shifting over for support. Puck comes over, puck goes there, and then we've facilitated a breakout. Okay, does that make sense for you guys? Give me a thumbs up if that made sense. Okay, I know it's all fresh knowledge. I just, like we did with our offensive zone theory and our defensive zone theory, I thought it'd just be nice for you guys to see this in a comfortable setting, as opposed to everybody huddled around a whiteboard in the arena where it's uncomfortable. So I just want to go over the concepts now of how I want to line up for face-off and then go over our responsibilities if we win a face-off like we did in this situation, and if we lost a face-off like I'm about to show you, okay? So, okay, on a face-off loss, okay? So on a face-off loss, the winger lined up beside the defenseman on the interior. In this case, it's the left winger. They're going to skate through the circle. Okay, it doesn't matter if we won the face-off or lost the face-off. That left winger is going to start through the circle right off of a face-off. Okay, the right winger. Oh, Karis is drawn on the presentation here. The right winger, or sorry, the winger lined up on the interior. In this case, it's the right winger. Okay, they're going to slide up to their defenseman as well. Okay, so in this situation, face-off is one back. This right winger is going to slide up the ice to make sure that their defenseman doesn't get a scoring opportunity. Okay. On a, the defense on a loss, if we lose a face-off and their defensemen get possession of the puck, okay. If we lose a face-off and their defensemen get possession of the puck, the defensemen on our team are not necessarily going to worry about where that puck went. They're worried about the wingers that are lined up opposite of them on the hash marks. Okay. So on a defensive loss, they don't worry about where the puck's gone. Their job is to stick close to the opposition's wingers to make sure that they don't beat them to the net. And then the centerman, okay, guys, I know this is a little bit strange, but the centerman, as much as he or she would like to chase the puck off of a face-off loss, they need to remain with the opposition centerman. Okay, so even the best face-off guys in the NHL, they only win 56% of their face-offs. That means that the other 44% of the time, they need to let their teammates go after that puck but they need to stay with their centerman. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing in our zone, in our own zone. If we lose a face-off, we're going to let the wingers go to work, go get that puck back, and our defensemen, our centermen are going to remain with the centerman. Our defensemen are going to remain with their wingers until we identify what the opposition is going to do with that puck. Okay, so lose a face-off, that left winger comes through, the right winger slides up as well. If they're going towards the net, our defenseman needs to go to the net too. If the other forward's going to that net, our defenseman needs to go to that net too. Okay, does that make sense, guys? And not only that, but our players in each situation, I want to be on the defensive side. Okay, so we are between them in the net. Okay, so this defenseman is between the right winger and the net. This defenseman is between the left winger and the net. Our centerman right here is between their centerman and the net. Our left winger is between their defenseman and the net. Our right winger is between their defenseman and the net. Do you guys see how I have that drawn? In a game situation, we're going to look to do the same thing. Okay. All right. If their centerman goes towards the net, what do we got to do, Evan? Take yourself off mute and let me know. Oh, might have lost Evan here. Okay. So if we lost a face-off here and that centerman's going towards that net, our centerman needs to go with that player, stay on the defensive side. Okay. Now, what does this look like in real time? All right. In real time, puck gets dropped. We lose that face-off. Everybody starts moving. Okay. The centerman is with their centerman, winger on our defenseman on winger, right winger on that defenseman, left winger on that defenseman. That's what this is going to look like in real time. Do you guys see how that works? One more time. Puck is dropped. It's clear we lose. Wingers are going winger on that defenseman, winger on this defenseman. Center stays on center. Our defensemen stay with their wingers. One more time. Just watch the defenseman right here. This defenseman on this winger, this defenseman on winger. Puck is dropped. They stick with them. Okay. Nobody gets left alone off of a face-off. Everybody has their responsibilities. Okay. Do I have any questions from you guys? Bennett's shaking his head. He's like, I just got to save the puck, man. Yeah, nods. Yeah. Paisley's shaking her head. She says that she's going to nail it. Karis, do you have a question?
Yeah, what if the puck goes near the net?
If the puck goes near the net, then you're going to engage in a battle, okay? Like, I mean, do you mean like if the puck goes near the net off of a face-off?
Yeah, will the
Yeah, okay,
defense?
off of the face-off, this defenseman, so if they like shot that puck at the net, this winger is still going to go through or be able to stop the puck. The defenseman is going to go near the net, or my man Bennett's going to cover the puck, okay? And then we'll reset and we'll look to gain possession off of that.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? No, we're good. All right. Well, this is a quick one tonight, guys. Just less than 20 minutes. It's been recorded. I'll put it up on YouTube, and feel free to refresh yourselves if we're heading into a game and you need to remember what the defenseman do or what the centerman does or what the wingers do, and we can go from there. So, you guys have a great night. Thanks for chiming in, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at practice. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.